even realize it. It affects the decisions that you make. Believe me. Okay. So no one's gonna be perfect. Okay. I'm not pushing perfection here. I don't like that. Spirit of excellence. That's what I like. But what I'm saying is you still want to always be open to assessing you. Not always looking at other people, but assessing you. Okay. In addition, I need to say this. It is also important to be able to accept the forgiveness from someone. If someone comes to you and says, I've been doing this, so I felt this way about you, you might not even be aware of it. But once you're made aware of it, don't ponder on it. Don't try to find a reason to be upset. Just take it in and be like, oh, wow, I didn't know you felt that way, but okay, I accept your apology. Now, if you like moving forward to say, can I ask you a question? How did you really get to that point? What did I do that you felt I did to make you feel that way? Because maybe it's something this person can shed some light on something about your personality that you might need to pay attention to. Or not. They may say whatever and you still might be thinking, okay, don't know where that's coming from. But either way, accept the apology and move on. Okay? Don't allow that to be an opening for you to all of a sudden, now I got a gripe. I can't believe she came to me and said that. And then gonna ask me to accept her apology. I mean, come on now. Let's grow up. Accept the apology and move on. Learn how to give forgiveness. Learn how to forgive. Okay, period. Let me say that. And then learn how to accept forgiveness. Okay? Also, ladies, I will have a copy of this outline. Give me a couple of days on the steps that I've just spoke on regarding forgiveness, posted on my website at www.lakeishaspeaks.com. Now, if there are any of you that are first-time listeners, then you might want to visit my website at lakeishaspeaks.com, where you can read other posts related to women's issues that I do talk about. Also, you can click on the tracks on this website, the Spreaker.com website, under my Spreaker profile in order to hear other topics I speak on, such as celibacy and dating, reasons men cheat, and what to do after rape. Yeah, that's what I said. What to do after a rape. If you know anyone or you yourself have experienced this, then you may want to listen to that. And I am adding more as I go along, so be patient with me because I choose my topics carefully. So, I try to do one a week, but sometimes it may take a little longer so that I can really think about it and make sure this is what I would like to speak on next. If you have a suggestion for me, then send it to mail, M-A-I-L, at lakeishaspeaks.com. That's mail at lakeishaspeaks.com. And I'll be more than happy to look it over. And you may not see it it may not be the next subject that comes out, because I received a lot of suggestions, but I will get to it at some point, trust me. I'm just doing them in the order that I'm feeling led to get them out. Okay, so quickly, I just want to recap. The 4 steps again. Get the complete story. Do the reflection and an analyzation part. Okay, write it down. Go somewhere quiet where you can do it. Write it down. Think about it. If you need help with it, and you know someone that knows about the event just as much as you do, request their help, and make sure that you let them know you're not trying to rehash old wounds and so forth. You're just really trying to get to a point to see if it's something you could have done differently. Number 2, origin. Find out in doing that process, where did the hurt or the offense really lay with you to bring on this grudge, this bitterness, this unforgiveness, this anger. Number 3, contributory actions. No embellishments, please, but be honest with yourself about what you may have done or not done or said or not said that could have prompted the reaction that offended you. And number 4, the conclusion. Is there anything that you can do, based on your outcome of your research, that you could do to make things right? And if not, then at least forgive yourself or ask for forgiveness and move on. Release that. Let it go. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't hold on to guilt, but let it go. And in addition, my last, it's not really step 5, but maybe it should be, learn to accept forgiveness. Okay? Learn to accept forgiveness. Okay, so now I know some of you are thinking that is easier said than done. This time you are actually correct. But I am here to say, ladies, it can be done. It really can be. So let me give you let me give you one life example of how I painstakingly got to a point of forgiveness. Not too long ago, okay? And I know that if you're really listening to this, you know that I believe in God wholeheartedly. I don't just do these for people who believe in God. I do these for anybody. I do these topics for anyone that can learn something from it, that it can help. So this is not an exclusion. I'm not excluding anyone at all, okay? But when I speak about me, I'm going to speak about what I believe and how I do things. Okay. So this, I'm gonna be really quick about this example, but this was very difficult for me. I knew a gentleman. Well, I still know of him, of course, but we were, you know, pretty close. Okay. And let me just say this: my dad used to always tell me and my siblings that he is the father, so we should contact him, check on him, which I can understand. I mean, we love our dad and we do keep in touch with him. However, I always thought it was a little lopsided that he would feel like he doesn't need to call us. And for the most part, at one point, he did not. Now, that's another topic altogether because my dad does call me a little bit more now. And we have a great relationship, always have, for the most part. But it always hurt my feelings that he felt like we needed to call him and that he could not be concerned about us at any given time and not just pick up a phone and call us. Okay, so I don't know if anyone out there can relate to that, but that was pretty hurtful to me. Now, this gentleman I'm speaking of, now you got to remember what I told you guys. There's things in your past, right, that you've experienced or that you've been taught. Okay, in my case, this is an experience I've had with my dad. So it ties into the way that I do things in the area of my friendships and how I communicate with people. Okay, so follow me now. I'm giving you a really good example of what I was just speaking on and how forgiveness ties into this. This gentleman, like I said, I really care a lot about him. And he was the type of person who he would call, but not that much. Now, I wasn't trying to play games. I wasn't looking at it like, oh, you call me one time and I'll call you two times. You call me and then I'll call you back. No, it wasn't that. But you know how you just kind of notice after a while that somebody has a pattern and it just seems like it's a little unfair. And it starts to make you not really feel that cared for as they're trying to put out. Now, I know everybody's different, ladies, okay? So, and you got to remember, don't hold me to such high standards. I'm doing the best I can, and I share these stories with you for a reason. But I'm not perfect, okay? So this is to be vulnerable and to share this with you so hopefully you can learn something from my experience. But let me tell you, this gentleman would do things like, if I call him, he will call back. Maybe not right away, but he wouldn't let a day go by usually. He would call me back, okay? If I call most times, I think almost all the time, if not most times, he would answer the phone, okay? So I noticed those things, but because he was doing those things, I didn't pay attention to them. I didn't appreciate them as much. You understand what I'm saying? But he would not call me as much as I was calling him. Okay. So what that did is that threw me back into what my dad always said. And so I was offended. I tried to bring that up to him. Okay. Because I'm always big on communication. I tried to bring that up to him, but he brushed it off as if to say, look, are you focusing on that? I didn't tell him about my dad's story. I probably should have done that, but I did not. That was kind of personal for me. And I don't even think I put the two together at the time, to be honest with you. But I did try to tell him, hey, jokingly at times, nervously probably, because I was really tripping. It really bothered me, okay? That he didn't seem to call. If he had called a little more, I probably would never really noticed it. I wasn't trying to say tit for tat. I just noticed that it was so far in between from what I was putting out. I noticed it. Okay, I hope you can understand what I'm saying. So what happened one day is I called him at work and I said, hey, how are you doing? And I was trying to talk. He said, well, I'm at work, give me a call when I get off. Now, ladies, I know that sounds weird and you probably thinking, okay, he said, give him a call when he get off. But I think things had built up for me and I tried to speak to him about it a couple of times. I think that was just the moment I couldn't take it no more, like the straw that broke the camel's back type thing. And you know how we can get emotional sometimes. I just kind of went into a tailspin and I said, what? I said, okay, well, what time do you want me to call you? He wouldn't give me a time. He just kept saying, call me when I get off. And in my mind, I'm thinking, look, if you the one got to get off, call me when you get off. That way I'll know you're able to talk. Why should I start calling you at 5:05 because you get off maybe at 5? I don't know. Or you might be getting off later that day. I may call you and then I can't get you or whatever. I just really thought it was stupid, honestly, okay? I just thought, tell me what time you want me to call you. Or just say, I'll call you when I get off. I could say okay, and then I'll just expect a call from him, okay? And it was so stupid, okay? I admit it. It was. But I just, all of a sudden, because of my past experience with my dad, I got angry. And I said, look, you call me when you have time. And I hung up. Was I wrong? Yes, I was for handling it that way. Especially since I, try to live my life with showing God in it. Okay, so that's one reason why I did it wrong. Two, it just wasn't that serious. I could have, but I just couldn't help myself. Okay, and I'm not perfect, like I said. So do you know we hadn't talked up for probably over a little over a year? Because he's very strong too, and he was offended. I hurt his feelings, and so he was like, okay, well, whatever. You hung up, whatever. Okay. Well, let's fast forward it. A year or so later, I was doing something on my computer, and all of a sudden, I got a strong urge, and it wouldn't go away. And if any of you believe in God and you know what I'm talking about, I knew it was the Lord. Okay, to call him to say hi, and I did. But before I was able to do it, you guys, I cried. You know why I cried? I cried because I was still holding unforgiveness for how I felt he had handled the situation, and that he wasn't showing me how much of a friend he really could be. Okay, and that I was the one putting out the effort and he was not. And God was requiring me to forgive. He was showing me that you got some unfinished business. You're doing okay in all these other areas, but I haven't forgotten about what happened then. And you're very strong. You're being stubborn. I'm going to need you to be the first to yield. You know how hard that is for a strong woman? And that's what I want to say to my women, my other strong women. You have to learn how to yield. You have to learn how to let go. Okay? And it really helped me to forgive. And once I was able to get past that first conversation and to move forward and forgive and let it go, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I believe with all my heart that me and him will be okay too, moving forward. So I just wanted to let you guys know, because really that whole thing was just festering in me all that time and I didn't realize it. And so I was able to release. I felt so much better after the conversation. It was so weird. But it made sense logically that I should be the one to call first, because I'm the one that hung up like a year or so ago, okay? And even though I felt I had a reason, I still shouldn't have handled it that way. And all I was doing was hurting myself. I'm sure he thought about it, but I'm sure he did not hold on to it like I did, because he didn't see where it was coming from. He didn't see why I felt as strongly as I did. So anyway, in closing, ladies, perhaps you are embittered by the poison of unforgiveness, okay? Remember that forgiveness doesn't mean you approve of the person's actions, but it simply means you have given them and the offense over to the Lord. Okay? Or if you, like I said, if you don't believe in God, you released it. You're not holding on to it anymore. The mercy you receive from God, okay, is in direct proportion to the mercy you give others. So if you want to, for those that will do it, read Matthew 5:7 and Matthew 18:30 verses 32 through 35. All right? Well, ladies, I may have to do a part 2 on this. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But I thank you for listening. And as always, I hope that something I said here tonight helps someone listening. I pray all the best and much success for you all in coping with life challenges. Just as a reminder, do not forget to go to my website, www.lakeishaspeaks.com, where you will find an outline of what we spoke about tonight on the importance of forgiveness and some useful steps on how to get started if you would like to, but don't know where to start. Also, if you have not heard of any of my other podcasts, please click on the tracks on this website, Spreaker.com profile, and there are other topics I discuss, and I will be adding more. Again, I ask for your patience in that. Until next time, guys, I love you all, and good night.